You did it. You found the list where I unveiled not just 75, but 100 U.S. cities for the most lucrative potential in a short-term rental. You guys, I have been asked this question over and over and over again. It's probably the most common thing that I hear is, Melissa, where should I invest? What are the best cities? And I've always hesitated to answer or give people that type of feedback because it's not super simple. Like there's a lot of factors that come into play. Purchase price, what you paid for the property. Does the property need renovations? Like, does it come turnkey? How many bedrooms is it? Are you going to be a hands-on host? Are you going to hire a property management company? There's a lot of things that go in there, but this city list is going to give you the most comprehensive idea of what the potential could be. Now, your job is to take that information, and if there's any cities that sound like they would work for you, if they're within your budget, then you can take that and you can plug it into my profit calculator, which I will give you a link for as well. You need some type of a tool to analyze this data. So I gave you this amazing data, but now what do you do with it? So you need to be able to take that data and plug it into a tool. So I'm going to show you exactly how to use that tool so that you can start running the basic scenarios. Now, there's going to be a few more things that you're going to need to do. Running a short-term rental and owning a property is a little bit more complex than just, hey, I bought a property, I want it to be a short-term rental, I'm just going to throw it up there on Airbnb and I'm going to be amazing at it. There's a lot more that goes into it, but that's what I'm here for. If you guys get stuck along the way or have any questions, I have a lot of amazing resources for you. So I am an Airbnb host. I bought 7 properties in the last 5 years. I have increased my portfolio to a value of over $5 million in just 5 years. And so I do share a lot of those strategies with my students. I have about, 500 to 700 students I've helped over the last decade that have invested in long-term and short-term rentals. And most recently, I've been extra obsessed with short-term rentals because I have found so much success in it. It's become a lot of fun for me. It is active investing, which is a little bit different than the passive investing I'm used to, but I have learned a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've made a lot of errors along the way, and that's what I help my students with. That's what I do, is I teach you, hey, this is how you do it. These are the mistakes I made. Don't do it. Don't make those same mistakes that I did. Here's how you can be successful going forward. Because since making those mistakes, I've been able to pivot and I've been able to rechange things. Because of those mistakes that I made, it really forced me to put together what works and what doesn't, processes and frameworks. So once I figured that out, then that's when I was really able to expand and grow my portfolio faster and bigger. Because if you don't fix the little things that are happening and the things that are going wrong, then how can you scale? Like, that's not a scalable system. I wanted a system where I'm not working in the business, glued to my phone and nonstop dealing with guest inquiries and approving people and how do I price things and, all these things that could be automated and should be automated. There's amazing automation tools out there, but you have to know how to use them. You have to understand the Airbnb algorithm. All of this stuff, you guys, I have done and I figured out, and I literally spend less than 20 minutes a day on each of my properties. You guys can do that too. You just have to have the right systems. So that's what I teach my students. But this, you guys, is the first step to being able to do it all. We want to first figure out, how do we find a city or a property that even makes sense for us, that it's even doable. So when you guys are done looking at the list and checking stuff out and you're plugging things into the calculator, then, if you guys want more information, I have lots of information down below, how you can get a hold of me, how you can work with me. I've written books, I have PDFs, I have guides, I have a course. So if you're somebody that's a little bit more like, hey, Melissa, I want some hand holding, I want you to explain this, and I want you to explain this, and financing, and how am I going to be able to buy this property, and negotiating and setting it up and all that kind of stuff. If that's what you want, then I have an amazing course for you where my students are really successful in. If you don't want to do a course, I get it. Courses, you have to be really dedicated and be prepared to spend the next couple months really diving into the education and really taking it seriously. Now, if you're just the type of person that you're like, hey, I can already do this, I've invested in things before, I don't need help with the financing, I just want to kind of get the outlay of the land and I just want to kind of see like what the process is going to be and I'll figure it out myself. Then my guidebook might be great for you. Basically, what the guidebook is I literally unveil and give you guys behind the scenes look into everything I've done. Now, it's a pretty good overview. It doesn't have step by step like, hey, do this, now do this, now do this. It's a broad overview, but it gives you the idea of what would need to happen to be able to buy your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh property. So that's a really great option as well, and I'm giving you a link for that. Either way, I'm really excited for you guys to have this, and let's go. Hello and welcome to Discover the 75 Most Lucrative U.S. Cities for Short-Term Rentals. My name is Melissa. Nice to meet you. I am glad you are here. So the first thing that we are going to do is I want you to make a copy of this. So you start on this line right here, make a copy, and here are the steps in order to make a copy. Now what I want you to do is look all the way down here and you're going to see the tab that says all the data. Go ahead and click on that. Now, when we're going to open this up, and I have a little bit of a surprise for you. If you scroll down this list, you'll see there is more than 75 cities. There are a lot of properties in here as a bonus. We have almost 200 to be exact. Now, let's start at the top. We've got city, state, how many active short-term rental listings are in that market, the potential revenue, and we're going to talk about that, home values, gross ROI, average occupancy rate, and market size. Now, the market size is really just based on the size of the city. So when you look over here, these are labeled large, these are labeled medium, and then all the way down here, sorry, scroll too fast, these are small. So this is going to give you an idea of, if you look over here in this column, active short-term rental listings, if you look right here in Nevada, 13,000 vacation rentals in that market. So this is a very large market. Now, one thing that I wanted to mention is competition isn't necessarily a bad thing. It means there is high demand. So don't overlook a market just because you go, oh my gosh, there's 13,000 vacation rentals. The demand is too high for me. The competition is too high for me. What I encourage my students to think about and to ask the right question is, what makes a profitable vacation rental in this market? What can I do to compete with all those others? What can I do to not only compete, but stand out and be better than them? What are they doing, the top performers in the market, to get those bookings? So that's how you need to start looking at markets like this. So don't discount it just because you go, oh my gosh, there's so many in this area, the competition is way high for me. Don't think about it like that. You want to be the best of the best to compete with those. So here you go. This is a great starting point. There's areas and markets on here that I am shocked to find, and I didn't make up this list. This list was compiled from a couple different sources that I use from AirDNA and above. So let me go ahead and show you exactly how to plug in these numbers next. Now, one of the first things you are going to do is, when you find a property that you like on that list, or a market rather on that list, then what you're going to do is you're going to go to that market and you're just going to go to Zillow or Redfin, and you're going to look up a property that looks like something you would buy. Maybe it's the right price point, maybe it's in the right neighborhood. We're just going to do a little bit of research and see what the numbers are going to look like. So what you're going to do after that, you're going to grab an address of a property for sale. You're going to go to airdna.com. Now, this is the free version for now. You can buy a subscription to this. Then you're going to look down here. We're going to go to Rentalizer. Then you're going to add in an address right up here. You're going to plug in 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 6 guests. Then what we're going to look at is the annual revenue. We're going to look at the average daily rate. And then we're going to look at the occupancy rate. So I want you to screenshot this or I want you to write it down, and then we're going to plug in this information into what is called a pro forma or some type of a calculator that will show the potential return. And then we'll go from there. Okay, now I have opened up my Show Me the Cash Flow calculator. You can use any pro forma that you want. This is one that I created so that I could analyze properties very quickly, very efficiently. Now, I do have a second pro forma that is a lot more detailed, but this one is just going to let me know the numbers really quick if I want to pursue this area or this market or not. If you want to get a copy of this pro forma, I will have a link for it on the download page that you downloaded earlier. Now, the first thing I want to let you know is I already filled out all this stuff for you. Now, here are the instructions down here. Do not enter anything in the gold cells. Only enter and change stuff in the light pink area. So basically what I did is I took that information from AirDNA and I put it in here for you already. Okay, so we've got this number in here. The average purchase price in this area is about $120,000 for a single family. This is going to show a 20% down payment. Average closing costs. Now I'm just guessing maybe $5,000 in repairs. I also put about a $20,000 budget for furniture and startup costs. So you're going to continue to put in the information here, taxes, insurance, all that. This is an Airbnb fee. If you're going to be using Airbnb, they charge 3%. Then I went ahead and entered in these estimates because I own properties already. I know what these estimates are. Now, the good news is it does everything for you. You do not have to do math or anything like that. Now, the net operating income is right here. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we have to deduct the financing. So your loan and all that needs to come out of this. So then we look over here on this column. Right here, it takes out your mortgage payment. Then this is the monthly cash flow, $2,000, $26,000 a year profit from this one property. Now, to take it a step further, the way that I like to think about the return, the cash on cash return, which is right here at 48%, that means that basically what that is taking is it's taking your total investment, all this that I estimated, the down payment 20%, the closing costs 5,000, repairs and renovations 5,000, and furniture 20,000. So I might be putting out about $54,000 out of my pocket. That is my hard-earned money that I took out of my savings account. I want to know how hard that money is working for me. So we're going to divide that by the profit, and the profit is $26,000. And when you divide that, you get a cash on cash return of almost 50%. That means that you doubled your profit for year one. Now, again, that is just quick, easy math. This does not show you the future. It doesn't show you what your property returns are going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, especially when we start adding in things like tax benefits and appreciation and equity pay down. So every time your guest stays and pays you for that stay, it's going towards your mortgage, which gets paid down every year. There are so many exciting things that we can talk about, which I do talk about in my real estate courses. And I also have those other pro formas that show you the future projections. But for now, this is a really awesome pro forma just to quickly see what your return is going to be and what the numbers are going to look like. So I would say, yes, this property is a slam dunk. I would definitely do this one. All right. Thanks, you guys. I hope you found this helpful. And don't forget, follow me on Instagram. Hello, Lady Luck. Follow me. I'm over at YouTube, Lady Luck Investments. I left my email there. I left a couple of links for you. So let me know what I can do to help you even further. Thanks. Bye.